Hello. We want to welcome you guys back. My name is LaShonda,
And I'm Rochelle.
and we are the co founders of Mary Carroll's Foundation. And if you guys have been with us at any point this month, you know that it is National Recovery Month. And we are super excited to be here today. I am with Rochelle, and then we're doing this in reverse today. So I'm introducing her, and she's going to introduce our special guest that we have on this evening.
Hi, everybody. So today we have a special guest because dear to my heart, it is my aunt, Reverend Alua, also known as AKA Joanne Lee. She is my aunt. She's watched me grow up since I was a little bit until my age of right this moment. She's been in my life. She's a wonderful woman, but she has also been in recovery. I've watched her through her entire life, ups, downs, sideways, across, around the corner, all the above. Our title you see is Recovery and Spirituality. Who better to have on with but my aunt, Joanne Lee? Auntie, take the floor.
Well, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me. What a blessing. What a blessing. And yes, you have watched me along with LaShonda. Yes, indeed. Just a blessing. Ah, man, recovery. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a way to life. It's a way to me seeing life in a whole different way. I've got some years under my belt, but to me, it's always the first day, the first 24 hours, the first second, the first minute I wake up. And I have to stay conscious of what's going on around me and be present, very present of who I'm associating myself with. And even now, even today, even right now, I'm still have to, so really, no matter how many years I have, I still have to be very focused on who I'm spending my time with and what's going on in my spirit, because this is a very slippery slope in recovery. And the second could be the second. It's just
Yeah.
one day. Mine is alcohol, but there was all other things before the alcohol. Let me say, there was all the other things, but alcohol is the one thing that really got my attention. And coming from a family of addiction,
Yes, we
it's
are.
very deep. It's very deep. You know, you may not think so, but it's very deep. And then coming from a family of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That family of dysfunction. Yeah. That really plays a role in
So
in
that's
how we turn out. Go ahead, Auntie.
and that's the way that's the way we turned out. I'm just so grateful and I'm so happy that y'all started this foundation because it's going to be a blessing to so many women. I remember when I went into recovery, I think it was Booth Memorial. I didn't know that the alcohol was just a symptom. It was what was going on in my life that was creating more of the malfunction of me trying to hide behind the bottle or the drink or the drug.
Do you remember, Auntie, going back the day you decided that this was the day that you were going to change?
It's my
Made that
40th birthday.
choice.
It was my 40th birthday. I just had a birthday partying hardy. And spirit woke me up. And usually when I'm drinking and I'm drunk or I done got into a stupor, I heard my mother call me. And what that was for me, that was it was and I jump up. I would jump up. I said, and I know she's well enough alive. But see, there's a spirit that we have to know that's talking to us because it got to get our attention. Was trying to get, and I'm just so grateful because I got up and I went. I just got up and called my doctor, and they said, "Come on in." I was a very manipulated drinker. I kept a job every day, and to me, keeping a job every day and different jobs every day, I thought I was doing something, but I was just finding other ways how to get drunk.
One,
Because I still was hiding.
Yeah.
one thing we talked about during this month is how when you are in recovery, people still judge you as if you're that old person. How did you handle that?
Listen, that's their stuff. I found out today that a lot of people that's trying to judge me is because they don't want to face their own demons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very clear with that. You know, you don't keep trying to don't keep barking on me because you don't see the truth of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I really found out today because that used to bother me because I'm saying, listen, I'm doing my work, but I noticed they weren't doing their work.
Mm-hmm.
So the blessing is sometimes it's people, places, and things. They'll tell you that and sit down, shut up and listen in the rooms. Sit down, shut up and listen. Take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth and listen.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing that one of my brothers told me. And I was sitting there crying, boo-hooing, listening, crying, boo-hooing, listening. And my baby brother, God bless his soul, he the first one that gave me my recovery, my AA book. He circled places for me to go, was circling places for me to go. I love that's my brother. That's my brother. And I went to the meeting. I said, the first meeting I went to, I said, that ain't me. That's not going on with me. That's their stuff. That's not. And then a couple of years later, I went back.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a call that's going to call you because I want to say the source is trying to get connected with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this recovery month, the source is trying to get connected with you. So any one of us that feel that we have a problem with any drinking, drugging, alcohol, pills, anything that takes away from your mind, your consciousness, your truth of who you are. And then you can't tell yourself the truth because you're all behind something that's taking on your mind frame. So how do you live in your truth?
Mm-hmm. That's true. And so, Auntie, what about, because you mentioned it earlier about spirit and that spirit calling you. How did that play a role in your recovery?
Ooh. I went back to try to find out who I really was. I had to go back and find out who Joanne is. Not who my mama and my daddy was, not who my uncle, not following their footsteps. I had to go find out, what do Joanne want in her life? Who is Joanne? Who is Reverend Allure? Because Reverend Allure means bring joy to my people. I was bringing joy to my people in a whole different other way when I was drinking. So as life has gone on for me in all these years, I have sat down and found out that I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the source of God. I am the greatest thing that God can bring it because I got so much to teach and give to others. I've got so much in here that I know that I keep delivering to others and I just share it. I just share it. And it's up to it's up to us not to judge. It's just to give it out freely. You know, just freely releasing because you can't hold recovery. You gotta share it.
Did you realize also during your recovery how much stuff that you lost when you were drunk, when you were going down that journey?
I don't think I lost anything.
Okay.
I don't think I lost anything. You know why? Because what's for me is for me. And no matter any time can be the time. One of my sisters said, any moment can be the moment. Because no matter how old you get, you still got that moment as long as you got breath in your body.
Yeah.
But you got to make the choice. And fear is always lying at the bottom of everything. I just started my business 2 or 3 years ago. And fear is still there, but you know what? Stepping out on faith.
And how long you been in recovery now, Auntie?
Oh, it's been the grace of God. I have 28 years. January 7th, I'll have 28 years.
And how does it feel to say that?
Oh, please. How I feel to say that? How I feel to wake up in the morning and say, thank you, God. Thank you, universal. Thank whatever way you want to call God, that's up to you. God could be the doorknob. But I just thank, and I'm just grateful for waking up in the morning and being thankful.
Absolutely. So what made you become a minister?
Oh, child, that was calling me when I was praying over people and when we used to play ball. They said, "What, you the pastor?" Every time we go to the game, I say, "Oh, we gotta pray. We gotta pray." But you know, it's a calling that it's a very calling. Because when I went to school, I only went to school to personal development. I went first because personally, you got to get yourself over. I start delivering, trying to tell somebody else something, what's going on with me that I got to keep on fixing people. So when I said, "Oh, I didn't come here to be a minister. I didn't come here. I came here just to get the personal development program and be a life coach or something." But that was my thought. That wasn't that wasn't the Most High. That was my thoughts. That was my humanness. And it's just another calling that you always just be ready, because we don't know what the source is calling us for.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned your business. What do you do to give back, or what's your business, Auntie?
My business is each one teaches one. I do have a basketball tournament, basketball clinics. We give back to the youth, and in giving back to the youth, we get to coach and talk to them and see what's going on, because it's not just about the ball game; it's about what you got to come out here in life to do, even if the ball is stop bouncing. So we have summer tournaments. We're getting ready to open up some winter tournaments, and and just bringing it back to the community that had given to me so freely, and just giving back is a blessing. And our youth need this. The female, we give to the females and the males, and we have co-ed teams.
I know one thing with you being in recovery, and it's been a blessing, me watching how you once were to how you are today. It's amazing. You have an open heart. You give so freely, but also you know what you went through and where you are today, and you don't deny it. Like you said, there is no judgment because you are who you are. And I love that about you. You have no problem discussing, yep, that was me, but guess what? This is me today. And like you said, every day is day one. And I love that about you. You're honest about it.
It's always day one, because you can't forget the first 24 hours, because that's all we got is that, because we live in the moment. We don't live over here. We don't live back here. We live in the moment, and I've learned to live in the moment. Because when I live over there, I'm over there. I'll probably be at the bar over there. If I live back there, I'll probably be in my misery. But if I live in the moment, I can only be in the grace.
That's a beautiful thing. And what would you say to people who are out there struggling, who are thinking maybe I need to recover, maybe not? How does, God and spirit, how does that all play together?
How it plays together is that it's the fear that keeps us moving. For me, it was the fear that kept me out there. And once like we always say it, it's your moment. It's your moment can be your moment. And once you surrender to the moment, everything unlike itself is going to show up. But the fear is that, see, what you got to face this, because you got to face everything and recover, not face everything and run. And recovery, no, don't think it's not easy, because passing bars, growing up in Harlem, passing bars, passing the place I know I used to go at, passing 139th Street with Lenox Avenue, want to go up in that liquor store that I always went through. You had to pass these things. But you had to find another out. And mine was either a chanting. I found it to start chanting, start meditating. I started to get quiet. I've always asked for quiet. I've always wanted quiet because I had all this chatter in my head. And as a youth, chatter in the head, that's why I played so much sports, because I didn't want to, thank God I'm alive. But there's going to be times you're going to be wavering. If I just could have that one drink, that one drug, that one pill, I'll be all right. That's just for that moment. So just surrender. Surrender. It ain't going to feel good at first, but I guarantee you, just keep on talking. Always get you a sponsor, the 12, 12, and 12, because that's 36.
What does that mean, Auntie?
You have the traditions, the steps, and the promises.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We say that we are the daughters of addiction, is why we started Mary Carroll's Foundation. And you have definitely watched us through this process. And I want to say thank you for all of your support in this. As my grandmother and LaShonda's mother was very important to us. And that's why we dedicate this to them, because they watched people in their family be addicted, and they did what they could do to try to stop it. But it takes that person to stop, not somebody else.
And that's it. And that's it. And that's what I tell everybody. It's not about, you can't keep on holding grudges for something that they did the best that they could do.
Mhm.
We can't hold our parents and all the lovers we have, everybody hostage for something that they tried their best with what they had.
Mhm.
We forgive them and we pray for them, or we just give them some love.
Mhm.
But we have to save our own butts.
Right. Yeah. I had the opportunity of talking to my father in one of our discussions. And I told him, and I forgave him, because if he knew better, he would have done better. And I can't judge him for what he did 50 years ago. And that's why we
For
have a
what?
relationship today.
And that's what we have to get to, the love. Even though they did the best they could, the love and the forgiveness.
And that's the big thing with it, is forgiveness. That's one of the major words, is forgiving and moving on and seeing where people are today. Not judging anybody for what they did back, because that was then and this is now.
And the first forgiveness starts with you.
With you.
Yeah. And that's a powerful spiritual principle, though, because I think people sometimes we throw words around and the context of them are deeper than we could even imagine. Like you just said, Auntie, when we start to forgive ourselves, that's internal work. That's that, when we take off that layer of junk of all this shame and guilt we have with ourselves, we can start connecting to God.
I remember before I got ordained, I said, all the stuff I did, God wanted me to be. He wants me to go and deliver his messages, her messages, he, her, she, whatever we want to call them. Do you want me to deliver the And I had to sit down for a minute. And I remember my mentor, they asked me, they said, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't think I deserve this. I think I'm going to burn in hell or something. They always tell you you're going to burn in hell because you weren't doing the things right.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was the fear. My fear has come. So I had to wait another year, not because it was me. I was stopping my own blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's a great message, that you deserve it. Whatever your dream is out there, you deserve it. I don't care what you've done in your past. If you're doing the work you need to do on yourself and you have dreams and aspirations, you deserve that.
Exactly. God's spirit, whatever you want to call it, gave you a second chance. When you wake up, it's a second chance.
That breath is a second chance. That heartbeat is the second chance.
Yeah.
The eyesight, when you wake up, the things good morning world, is the second chance. And any moment can be the moment of your second chance.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to make the choice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
To build that moment.
Yeah.
To build that second chance. To get to have your dreams arise.
Mm-hmm.
You get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Auntie, what would you say to the family members about, helping out or not helping out? What should they do?
Family members going to be family members, okay? And the best thing I offer them is to be patient and stop judging of who you saw and judge what you birthed or what you watch. See them grow, plant the seed. Go somewhere and plant a seed for them. See them strong, because what we vision, what we pull, what we how can I say, our vision pulls them.
Mm-hmm.
The thoughts in your brain pulls the spirit. So you can gain what they have, you can bring them up. So it's time to bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't judge them and throw rocks at them. And keep on remembering what they did. Can you see what they're doing now?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's so important. Because I see what you're doing now. I see what my father, what he's doing now. People that we've met, meetings that we've gone to, people that we've met where they are today is not where they once was. Well, what would you tell that old person, that person that was drunk that night? What if you could go back to one night, what would you tell that person?
Which night?
Any night that you were under, what would you tell that person?
I love you.
Nice.
I loved you even then in your sickness, in what they call sickness, in your drunkenness. I loved you then. I love you then. I love you just as more now in your recovery. It's all about love. It's all about sending that energy of love to you, to your spirit. Just like the little something, I got to tell her I love her. I got to give her some Twizzlers because we have a fight sometimes.
Yeah.
I got to know when we got to know when the little girl shows up. I was told to me when she shows up, give her what she likes. Go out and ride the bike. Go bounce a ball. Go play. Give her what she likes for an hour until we got to go back and pay the bills. We got to go back and live life, but they're going. You remember, we always got a little girl inside. I want you to always remember that she's going to come up and flicker with you and tell you all crazy things and keep telling you love her.
That's so healing.
It is. That's beautiful.
That's so healing.
To tell yourself, I love you and I forgive you.
Yes. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
That's all it's about. Because I remember when it was some things used to come up. Sometimes some days I'm in here in my home forgiving myself. Because sometimes I can fall off the little tiki for a minute, but that's just my thoughts. I ain't got to act on them. I'm going to have them thoughts because those are the first thing I had. But I have forgiveness and love that can come with the thoughts. And I know how, and then you got to know how to be still. You got to know when this is coming up, when you got to take a breath. And see, breath is the most important thing. Take that breath. Thank you. Thank you, Source. Just take the breath and say, hold up. Because it's hard. We got hard. Don't be too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And that's where breath comes in at. And that's when you start questioning, is this really happening? What's really coming up? Is this the truth, or am I lying to myself? Let's just take a minute and let's write this down. Sometimes I get to write them feelings. And see who's showing up. Is that my old self? Is that the Reverend? Who's showing up here? Is that Gangster Joanne over there, or CEO, or is this the Reverend? Who's showing up here? Where can we find peace instead of peace?
That's beautiful.
That's powerful. And I want people to really understand and hear this. We've had people on this past month that are in recovery. So when you think of addiction, and most people think of the movies and all that other stuff, I want you to see these people who are sitting in front of you, these people who are giving back, these people who are making a difference. This is the beauty of recovery. This is really the power of recovery, and why we're doing shared housing, why we're doing recovery homes, because we want more people in the world that have a story like Auntie, that have a story like Pops. We want more of those people in the world that can show you the transformation, that can really give back and be the people that, God designed them to be in this world, and to deliver their message and their unique gifts to the world. And they can do that when they're in recovery, when they're doing themselves and being their best version of themselves. They can do that. And that's why these programs are so important. They really, really are. They're a stepping stone in the transformation process for many people. Many people.
And like Auntie said, meditation, going to meetings, finding a church. There's so many different ways that you can find what helps you. There's no one way. There's many ways. But the point is to find out what works for me, and then do it one day, the next day, and continue doing it.
It's
And
not,
as you see,
we don't have to be perfect. See, that's we do not have to be perfect. It is not going to be perfect.
Yeah,
mhm,
that's it. She's absolutely right.
yeah.
It is not going to be perfect. It's a process, and it's a day by day, step by step process. So we want you to really heed that and understand that. And Mary Carroll's Foundation is a place of no judgment.
Whatsoever. We all have a story to tell. No matter who you are or where you are in your life, you have a story to tell. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, we have our website. Visit our website, read about us, see who we are. Check out, as I say, Mary Carroll's Foundation, and see what we're doing and why we're doing it. And also, if you want to help, time, donations, any way that you possibly, even just a word of support.
Yeah.
All of that helps us in what we're doing. I want to thank my aunt for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to her and seeing her journey, her transformation, and where she is today is such a blessing.
Absolutely. And we want to share with you too that we will be opening our first shared housing home in November. By the end of this week, hopefully, we will actually have locked in the place.
I don't know why I can't hear y'all.
We can hear you, Auntie, though. Yep, she's trying to get back in. We can see you and hear you, but she can't hear us right now. But yeah, we wanted to share that news with you guys as well, is that we should have that locked in.
Can't hear us right now.
Now I can hear you. Now I can
You
hear
can
you.
hear me? Cool.
Right.
Yeah, I was just sharing with them that we will have our place open hopefully by November. We're locking in the actual location this week.
That we will have our place open hopefully by November. We're locking in the actual location.
Okay.
But we will,
Okay,
we
that's
will
good.
definitely keep you all
I don't know.
posted.
We have technical difficulties.
We will keep you all posted, let you know how we're doing, how the process is going. And thank you for being with us. We have another session coming up, talks coming up for the end of the month. But thank you all for being with us this whole month of recovery. You guys have made this special, and we thank you so much. And as always, thank you, Auntie, once again for being with us.
Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.